Yep. So it looks great. Now we're basically done with question number three, but you could go on ahead and uh, maybe add something else, add some spices to it to your own specification and interest. So you could, for instance, just select any of the tables. If you want to add something like a chart or something like that, you could just go to insert, and from here you can have like maybe a bar chart or something like that, or something, yeah, close to it. You select it and you put it down here as you want, or whichever place you want. You could also go ahead and make changes to this. For instance, you can choose a design, preference, anything to your specification. You can scroll down here for different ones, right? This one makes it kind of a bit pop out. Then you can also change the format if you want it to maybe look this way or that way. Yes. You could also set the filter so that when you select the country, it will automatically reflect the total here. So go ahead and play with it and apply some few stuff that you think are important, you know, to this. I would rather say go on ahead and also try using different or building different pivot tables, maybe to use a distribution channel, which distribution channel seem to have like a the most customers, something like that, or which market segment seems to be doing good in which country, right? So you could go ahead and answer so key important or so many important business intelligence questions. But let's go on to address the elephant in the room, and that is the loyalty programs, right? Designing a loyalty program with a data set. Now, this is how the final work looks like. So this is the loyalty program. So once again, we have the names here, and like we use the special status. We use the weekend stay, then we also use the weekday and sorry and weekend stays. So that's what we use to design this, and we put the total together. So I'm gonna show you a brief of how the whole thing works or what is behind this. So over here we did an X lookup, right? So clearly the names are there. The names are also here, right, in the bookings. So what do? We do an X lookup to get the names there and also the specialty status or the special status over there. Then we go on ahead and also do the same X lookup for this one and for that one. Then what do? We put the total together. We just add them. Then after that, we categorize them. So to categorize them, we will write a formula. I'll just show you how to write a formula. So don't be, I mean, the function. So don't be worried about it. Then after that, we just use flash fill for, the names here, just for the first names. Then again, XLOOKUP for the names of the hotels, right? Or the corresponding name and hotel. Then after that, once again, we did concatenate. Concatenate basically means like to put, like some cells together. So we just had the write-ups here. So we had deer here. Then there's also the sentence we all want to add. Then for the deer, we go back to select the first name. Then we concatenate this message to them. Then we also concatenate the status from here. So that is that. And so this is a breakdown of how we're supposed to categorize the status of or the categorization of the customer based on number of points they build over a period of time. So over a period of time. So that's what you see here. So we're going to do a similar thing down here. But to do that, maybe we should rename our tables, right? So this is the sheet. So this is question one, two, three. Maybe we should just right click here and rename it, or you could just double click on this one here and you get the chance to change it to, let's say, question one, one, two, three. Then this is the hotel booking. We just want to keep it like that. If you want to change it, you could equally go ahead and change it. Then let's have another page. Now let's name this one loyalty programs, right? So I'll use the other option, loyalty programs, and just loyalty programs or program. All right, simple. Now to do this, the first thing we need to do is to get the names, right? The names we have from this sheet here, right? Or it could also be some code. If your customer base seem to have like a code related to them, then fine. You could equally do that. Just code them. But we need these names or these set of names here as well. So to do that, there are several ways. But one thing I would not advise you to do is like copy and paste. Well, in Excel, I guess copy and paste is more for the novice. But if you've gone a bit beyond that, it'll be great to always like use formulas or use like a different way of getting the names here. And remember, this is a huge data set. We have over like 120,000 or almost 120,000 list of names. So you might want to do something else with it. Now, let me show you one way of doing it. You could put this one into a table of array, the names, and reference it when you come here so that it's easy, right? So that's an option. Now, let's see how to do that. You just have to go to this portion or this part. Let me make it a bit, yeah, from here, right? So just like the top of table, I mean column A, and put a name, right? Just kind of save the whole data set into a name or the whole column into a name. So let's just clear this one and name it maybe customers names or customer names, or just let's say anything you want, just names in bold, let's say like this, right? I can even select it and make it bold. So the names, right here, or let's make it capital, a little bit easier that way. Names. Okay, so now this whole data set or this whole column is named as names, right? So when we select it, you see it changes to customer names, right? So we've renamed the table. You just click here and rename it. So this whole names. Yeah, so going ahead and like change the names from here, I have titled this one, or I just type customer name, and this is in reference to the column A. So all the names here, I've already put it into like a table of array, and then I kind of call it customer names. Now, when I want to have the same data set here, what I have to do is just like put my cursor here and put equal to, sorry, equal to, then I reference the table. So I just start typing the name, customer, I mean the title of the table, customer names, and it appears here, right? So I just double click it or just use the IntelliSense, then I press enter. Now I have the names here, right? See how easy it is. So go there, first of all, rename the table. I mean, sorry, like rename the table to like any word you want. And this also means that I can reference the names here. I can reference the names there, like whichever, even when I go to the next page or I add a sheet and I want to reference, I can use the same thing. Just put another thing like equal to here. Then I start typing customer names. It will appear again. And I can put and just enter and it'll appear here, right? So go ahead and do a similar thing. Well, I don't need this one, so I'll just delete the table. Yes, so we're back to this one. I want to make this one bold, so I just bolden it up, or you can equally change it, make it capital so that it's a bit different from the others. Now I want to extend this line a bit so that I can see all the names, kind of have some space for it. Now the most important thing I want to have again is that I want to have the specialty status or the specialty status or the special status of these customers here as well, right? So I want to have each person, whether they're special or not. And remember, if they're special, it's like zero. I mean, it's like one. If they're not special, it's just like zero, something like that. And some people are, I mean, doubly special. I don't know. They have like more than two or three or something like that. So it'll appear. But I just want that specialty status here. So this is also a decision you have to make if you're working in business analytics or business intelligence. That hey, what data set am I going to use to build my loyalty program? It's very important. The decision. Remember, business intelligence is more about the decisions. So, where do I want to do that and why? So, I want to have this total like a special request, you know, uh, as part of the design. And I also want to have maybe the likes of like previous stays, right? Or like stays in weekend night, then like stays in like weekdays, like stays in weekdays, sorry. Then also weekends, night, and all this stuff. I want to have these three, and I'm going to use that as the basis for defining my loyalty programs or for building my loyalty program. So now what do? We have it here in this table, but how do we get it here? Because we want to manipulate it, right? So we can use XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP. I would always advise XLOOKUP because XLOOKUP seems to do almost everything VLOOKUP could do, and maybe sometimes I'll say that VLOOKUPs feels a bit old or a bit archaic, but sure, it's just all up to you. But I want to use XLOOKUP to get that data set here. So I go on and put equal. I go on and put equal to, then I type X, and there you go. So there's XLOOKUP. Now the XLOOKUP means we're looking for these names, right? So this guy here, and it's Barnes, and the lookup array is here, right, from this table. So we go to this table, and where can we find that name? We can find it in this column. So we select the whole column, right? There we go. Then we go on ahead, we put another comma in between it. Then what should this return? Remember, what we're looking for is the specialty status or the special request status. So we select this whole column here as well, and we close the bracket, right? And press enter. Now here we go. We notice that Ernest Barnes seem to have like a zero like specialty status, so we just leave it like that. Now we can populate this to the rest of the names, right? But look at something here, right? So we can see the specialty status of, for instance, like Casey Thomas is like 3 and stuff like that. Now there is something you need to know. Let me just reverse this one. Control Z to reverse. Now we have a list of 120,000 people. I cannot drag this one down or to drag it like this, for the whole thing, which means that we need a different way of uh doing it or populating this particular um column. So remember, if you do this, it's easy. So you can just double click that. Okay, maybe let me just reverse for you to see. I just go back to it, right? So Control Z to go back. You could just when the cursor turns this way, like a plus, or like something like that, you just double click here, and it populates the whole thing easily. Remember, it's a long list, so you cannot drag it, or you may not be able to drag it. There's also another way you could do that. You could equally come to this place, right? Do the X lookup for the first one, then use the Control, Shift, and down arrow keys to select the whole column. Then press Control D, and it'll basically also populate the whole thing for you. So that is also another option, right? All right. So now we have this one here. What data do we need again to build our loyalty program? So from the one we built, let's look at the data set we used. We used the weekend stays. We also used the weekday stays. So that is what we need. So we're going to do XLOOKUP, sorry, for this ones and that one as well. Remember, there's an option. I'm doing it separately because I wanted you to see that, how to at least use XLOOKUP. I could have done multiple XLOOKUP and selected these particular columns, for instance, weekend stays or weekday stays, and automatically have the three coming right away here, right? So the specialty status will come here. The weekend stays automatically here, then the weekdays stays as well. I could have done multiple XLOOKUP, but I want to take it slowly so that you see how it's done. Yeah, so that is the XLOOKUP for that. Now let's rename this one special status, right? So this is the special status. um, column. Let's make it B, so Control B. Right now we want to also have another one here, right? So we have to do another X lookup because um, we're looking out for a different column, or we want a different data set, and that is the days stays, or like weekend stays, something like that. So that's what we're looking out for, and so we have to do another X lookup. So once again, we put equal to X lookup IntelliSense appears, and what are we looking out for? We're looking out for this name here, Barnes. So we put a comma here, or a semicolon based on your keyboard style once again. Then we go to the main data set here. This is the table of array, right? Or the table array we're looking out for. So we select this one, and once again, we put a comma there. Then what are we looking for? You can see that it said return array. Which array are we hoping to return? This time we're hoping to return like night stays, right? So we select this one here, the whole column. Then we close our function. Then we press enter. Okay, so it gives us that one. And once again, we just double click here to populate it. So uh, that is it. So you can see some of them do have like specialty status and also like weekend stays. Now let's rename this one week and weekday stays. Let me cross check again. Uh, that was I think okay. So from here, I can see it from here. So I think that was the okay. So weekend nights. Okay, so we can just name it weekend nights. So weekend nights or weekend stays. That should be fine. So weekend stays. Right. So we also make this one bold so that it stands out a bit. And let's extend this part here a bit so that we have everything standing out. Okay. Right. Now let's go on to the next one. That is, we want the stays in weeknight. So this is weekend nights and this is weeknight. We want this one as well. So we go back and do the same thing or another X lookup, right? So we put there, then X lookup. Then once again, we're looking for Ernest Barnes. Then we put a comma there. Then what are we looking for, or which lookup array are we looking at? We're looking at this place here. And what are we hoping to return? So we put a comma there. And what are we hoping to return? We're hoping to return the stays in week or the week stays. So we select the whole column, then we close it and we press enter. Right, so we have it once here again, then we just populate. You can double click here, then we have that. So let's rename this one as well. So weekends, weekday stays, weekday stays, right? And Control B to make it bold. So that is how, these are the main factors we're going to base our loyalty programs on. How many nights they stayed with us, how many, I mean, weekdays they stayed with us, weekends they stayed with us, or do they have like some special status? We want to give kind of a loyalty program to them because we have a feeling or we think that these people are deserving of um, our loyalty programs. So once again, we go on to our loyalty programs. They already completed one, and to see what do we do next. Now we have to put them together. So this, that, and that together. So we sum it up, right? So that is the total stays, all right? And of course, for totals, you could imagine that's going to always be like sum of something, right? So we put here total stays, and let's make it bold, just like the others. So total stays. All right, so total stays. Let's put all of these one together, and of course you can use the sum function once again. So you put equal to, then you start typing the sum function. Then what do we want to sum? So this one here, right? Then what plus that one here, then plus. I'm doing it slowly so that you can also follow suit and kind of do everything on your own. Okay, then another plus, another plus, then plus that. Okay, now we close it slowly and we press enter. Of course, we couldn't have expected anything different. That's just that. Now we continue to populate it by just that, right? And it gives us the total, right? It sums all of them up. So now we have this and that and that. And those are the total states. So we're going to use these figures here or these numbers here, right, to design the loyalty program. Now we want to categorize this whole data set, right, or this total summary here, right, into like something else. We want to categorize it in such a way that anybody that got, for instance, below 5 is just maybe considered a bronze member. Anybody that got like between 5 and 10, we consider that to be like a silver member. Then anybody between that build like the points of, let's say, 15 and 16. Yeah, so we have this defined like indices,